Hi there, welcome back to the Football Spy Show, sponsored by our friends at the Car Giant Renner. The start of the Premier League may be in doubt, but the transfer activities continues apace. So let's start with our first roundup. And just as the Mirror Football website has been telling you for some time, Wesley Sneijder confirmed that he has held informal talks with Manchester United over a move to Old Trafford. As is the case with many transfers during this window, United have been aware of Sneijder's wage demands, and now it's down to United to sort that out and agree a fee with his club. The Mail say that Sneijder's so desperate to leave Inter Milan that City and Chelsea have been encouraged to bid for him, as he's convinced himself that his team have got no chance of beating AC Milan to the Serie A title. We're going to stick with the Mail for our next story because I like this one for Spurs fans. Tottenham I Hulk is the headline. As you know, he plays for Porto. He's 25 years old. Not only did he score 36 goals to help his club to the title last season, he also set up 21. He's got one of these ridiculous transfer clauses. His is for £88 million, but the Mail reckon that £35 million could be enough to get him for Spurs. If you're an Arsenal fan, the Mirror Football website will keep you updated on the Samir Nasri situation. City willing to pay £22 million for Nasri, and Arsenal have indeed accepted finally that he's on his way. For all of you convinced that it's still the papers making mischief, there's some very interesting quotes on Nasri and Cesc Fabregas from his teammate at Arsenal, the striker Marouane Chamakh. He says here, "I think Cesc and Nasri will probably leave. I do not believe that the money available for these two players is the problem. I just think the manager wants to find reliable replacements." Now, if you go to goal.com, you'll find quotes from the press conference that the France manager Laurent Blanc held yesterday, talking about Nasri. He says that, "I know that he's in talks with the club, with his club, not to extend his contract because he said he would not, but to change club." Just one other Arsenal line for the time being. Andriy Arshevin's ruled out moves to Real Madrid and the very rich Eastern European outfit Anzi Makakakla to stay at Arsenal. Time for your section of the show, and as you all know, the Premier League programme is under severe threat because of the problems sweeping across the UK. But until we hear one way or another in terms of whether the games will go ahead, we'll continue with our competition. We want to know which team is going to score the most goals in the Premier League this weekend. The Man City on Monday, the Man City game on Monday is not included, just the Saturday and the Sunday games. On YouTube, Ben Feller is in the USA. He thinks it's going to be Chelsea scoring the most goals. They play Stoke on Sunday. King Delando is in Hampshire. Thinks it's going to be Liverpool scoring the most goals. They're at home to Sunderland on Saturday. You've been tweeting Dan at Football Spy. Patrick in the USA thinks United are going to score the most goals. They play West Brom on Sunday. Damien is in Australia. He says Chelsea. On our email, spy@mirror.co.uk, Ben Newsom, he's in Wigan. He thinks Wigan are going to score the most goals. And they host Norwich on Saturday, and that's not a bad shout either. Tom Mayer's in Preston. He says Manchester United. Kevin's in Dublin, says Spurs. Well, only problem is I think that match is definitely off. Now, until we hear otherwise, keep your entries coming in. If you get it right and we pick you, then you win the shirt of your choice. Remember, obviously, to tell us where you're writing it from. And before we move on, take a look at this. To coincide with the start of the new Premier League season, Mirror Football are releasing some fantastic apps for you to keep up to date with all the breaking news and transfer stories. You'll get up-to-the-minute live scores, videos, pictures, and in-depth analysis from all of the top Mirror Football columnists. I'm on there as well. Go to the mirrorfootball.co.uk website/mobile for more details. Back to the transfers, and Sky Sports are reporting a story for you Stoke fans that we brought you on the Mirror Football website last week. Stoke in talks with Spurs over the double swoop for Wilson Palacios and Peter Crouch. The Mirror also reporting today that Tony Pulis wants the Manchester City winger Sean Wright-Phillips. Blackburn, they're looking to bring in the 26-year-old Leicester centre-half Sol Bamba to play alongside Chris Samba at centre-half. We love new names here on the Football Spy Show, and for all of you Football Manager fans out there, Chelsea are among several clubs being linked with the Porto midfielder Freddie Guarin. He's 25, he's a midfielder, he can play on the centre or on the right, and he's a very good player in indeed. Sunderland boss Steve Bruce has confirmed he'd like to sign yet another player, this time Tottenham's Nico Crancher, but he says that he's got to sell first. And Queen's Park Rangers have snapped up the former Ipswich keeper Brian Murphy on a 2-year deal. Keep your teams and your tweets, your competition entries for the weekend coming in. The Football Spy Show is back soon. I'll see you next time.